Okay, so let me paint you a picture. Imagine being so lost in addiction that you're willing to do anything to get your next fix. That's the nightmare situation we're dealing with in Oklahoma, where a mother, Ashley Rowland, allegedly gave away her 2-year-old daughter, yes, her child, for meth. And this isn't just some twisted rumor. Police are saying she confessed to it. I mean, just stop for a second and think about that. Giving away your child to a drug dealer, someone you barely know, just for a hit of meth. It's unfathomable.
A child missing. Her mother, Ashley Rowland, under investigation for allegedly giving her away to a man she was buying meth from.
Now here's where it gets even crazier. When the authorities first tried to track down the little girl, Rowland told them her daughter was with the dad in Georgia. Sounded simple enough, right? But then, surprise, that was a lie. Of course, it was a lie.
Rowland told investigators her child was with her father in Georgia. Officers later found that wasn't true.
As the story unfolds, Rowland eventually admits to the cops that she handed her daughter over to a man named Carlos, a drug dealer she was buying meth from at the time. Yeah, that's right, Carlos, the drug dealer. Not some random friend or family member. And the worst part?
When Rowland was questioned again, she gave a new explanation, this time claiming she gave her daughter, who was 2 at the time, to a man named Carlos, who she was buying drugs from. Rowland claiming Carlos was the possible father. She also admits she was on drugs and was buying drugs from Carlos when she gave her daughter to him.
She says she never saw either of them again after that. Not even a trace. It's just so mind-boggling, isn't it? This woman needed her fix so badly, so desperately, that she was willing to trade her own child to get it. Addiction is a sickness, we know that. But this is next level. To give away a little girl, not knowing if she's going to be safe, if she's going to survive, just so you can get high, that's a whole other kind of desperation. And then this whole thing doesn't even make sense, because Rowland's story keeps changing. She starts by saying her daughter's in Georgia. Then she admits to handing her off to this Carlos guy, but doesn't know anything about him. Like, nothing. She doesn't even know if he's the girl's father, just that he's a drug dealer. And what's even worse is that, as much as police tried to get to the bottom of this, the little girl's been missing for so long. I mean, they first learned of this in April 2022, and only in April 2023 did the Oklahoma Department of Human Services finally get involved. But, and this is where it really starts to get frustrating, nothing happened. No Amber Alert, no immediate action to find her, no urgent public searches. It took way too long for them to do something about it.
The court papers say in April of 2022, investigators learned a child was missing. A year later, DHS got involved but couldn't find Rowland or her child. They eventually tracked her down at an address in a Moore neighborhood.
Now, we're left asking, where is this little girl? Is she even alive? If she is, where is she? And why in the world did it take authorities so long to even act on this? That is something we need answers to. I mean, what could have been done if they'd acted sooner? We can't even get solid answers about where she's been all this time, or if the child is safe, or if Carlos ever even existed.
She also admits she was on drugs and was buying drugs from Carlos when she gave her daughter to him. Court documents say Carlos told Rowland he was going back to Mexico.
All we know is that this poor little girl is still missing, and the one person who should have protected her, the woman who brought her into this world, is the one who gave her away to a complete stranger. It's heartbreaking. And in cases like this, you can't help but think, how did it get this far? It's one of those situations where addiction takes a person so far down the rabbit hole, they lose all sense of what's right and wrong. But the system didn't step in fast enough, and that's a whole other problem we need to be talking about. All we can do now is pray that this child is still out there, and that somehow she's okay. But for now, we're left with way more questions than answers.